scrutinize, you will see there is a loan in the offing or already taken. When you hear about your levy, RMLF, again is a fad, is another illegal loan. So we have now shifted. Yes, we are over borrowing on the main book, but Kenya has also become more cleverer. We are now borrowing off the book. We are definitely borrowing the book that was used by Macky Sall in Senegal. And upon the assumption of a different government, they realized a debt that was secret and unmanageable. You cannot tell us that securitization is off the book. You can also not tell us, for example, the road I talked about in terms of Nakuru Highway. PPP is also a form of debt because they are forcing NSSF to put in some money, but also to borrow much more. Now, the question that all the people on the debt side keep on asking, when a government agency owned 100% by government takes a loan, if it is unable to pay, who pays that loan? It is the government. And therefore, all these loans are also public debts, and they ought to be accounted as such. The last thing I want to talk about, Kenya was hosting the president of Senegal, His Excellency Diomaye Faye. And I thought the people on the side of government would interact with him on what matters most, because they could have learned lessons. Diomaye Faye and Osman Sonko came to power last year in Senegal. Unfortunately, when they arrived in terms of the reins of power, they realized that the government of Senegal had secretly borrowed over 13 billion US dollars of the book of Senegal. And currently, as we talk, Senegal is in a crisis that is precipitated by that illegal secret borrowing. Kenya ought to learn from Senegal that we cannot continue, and I've been speaking about this matter. It is more important than most of the things we are talking about in the public domain, because the effects are now, but they'll be more catastrophic later. Kenya continues to borrow illegally secret loans that are not included in the book of loans. When you hear me talk about Kenya is borrowing 3.5 billion every day,